get into the topic too much, so I'll try to talk fast. But this presentation is more of a roller coaster. It is not just about the journals, but that's where we're starting as our starting point. I think everyone knows me. I'm Katrín Níelsdóttir. I'm the Icelandic and Rare Book Special Collections Librarian at the University of Manitoba. And we're going to talk about some journals. So first, and I specifically made hard to read writing on here, the Jóhann Magnus Bjarnason. I had to read really hard writing on the journal, and I wasn't going to make it easy for anyone. So Jóhann Magnus Bjarnason, I'm sure we all know who that is now. And this page of his diary, he's talking about how he lost his last diary in Winnipeg. So if everyone could check their closets, we're missing in 1901. And he was sure he left it in Winnipeg. He's actually very tired of teaching as well. Did anyone know that? He had it teaching Icelandic for kids. I guess it's been 13 years by then, and he was looking for a new job. And his new book, Erika Hansen, had come out, and everybody else had a copy but him. And he was not happy about that. He wrote about it. Where's his money? And then the next page, he talks about how his foster daughter had a husband from Newfoundland, and they just had a daughter. But it doesn't mean husband. Fine. We know what's important. Number 4. He's working on putting together the stories from Newfoundland and the Icelanders there. Loti Gudmundsson is finished typing up his manuscript. I guess she typed up a lot of manuscripts before they were sent to Iceland to be published. Sigurlína's in the hospital. And it's just some family news there. And then we're talking about New Year's. Fishgill's house for New Year's that year. 1942. Not much traffic. And there was a school board meeting, and it was really poor attendance. I can't even believe that was happening. My husband talked to his face, and he talked about a subscription to INLNA. He was paying 50 cents for it. And the girls had music lessons. Actually, I had a lot more notes on all these slides, but then I realized I would never get through them all. So we're taking points here. And then, oh yeah, and then the last one too. He talks about the national festivals. 7. Yeah, in this year, there's some good weather. Naturally, very important to come up with. And this one is from a new collection we just got at the university, so called the Stapleton. And so we have from like 1870 something, like all the way until the end. And they're just amazing. But in this one, he starts with talking about like the big events of the last year. And 1874, there was a national festival, constitution, a monetary reform, and Ashmole. This was the year before the Icelanders started moving, right? So it has some significance. This is obviously the first part of that journal. He also had a notebook where he's keeping track of his money. And yeah, this is his expenses. And this is 2012. Oh, this is the one where he collects some eggs. He's also working on chopping down some trees in the Hudson Bay section, and he fell off one, which was unfortunate. He was working without gate. And 24, 25, we sold a cow. I mean, you can see these are all like maybe not the most interesting things on their own, but these are actually the things that historians and researchers come to the University of Manitoba to look up, like, what were people talking about the weather, right? What was important to them at the time? It is very often the weather. I'll tell you that. And they're working on some schoolhouses together. And I'm looking for a specific one. Oh, goodness. Yes. Oh, here we have a school book by Ingibjörg, and she started this school book when she was still in Iceland, and she was just writing about her family. But then she moved to Canada, and in 1903, this seemed to be some school assignment where she was writing about Iceland and what she remembered of it. And it's really bad numbers, like her numbers are all wrong, but that's how she remembered Iceland. And in 1920 and 1930, we have another book of hers. This is after, she moved to Mozart in Saskatchewan. And she has some creative writing here, and she's saying it's really quite cold. The winters are long and harsh, and they give me no peace. And I've lived in Saskatchewan. I get it. And then we have Niels Thorlaksson. This is a really interesting one. It's from before, a long time ago, 1884, but it was when he was still in Norway and learning. So this is not when he was in North America. But he was a very deep thinker. I'm not a historian, so I can't tell you more than that. But he said things like, I long to offer something greater than testimony, to find meaning and direction. It seems important. Yeah, Jakob Olsebring says, how good is in the hospital? And we got some exceptional frosts. It's Canadian winters, right? And these ones are really very good here. He would keep the same book for 3 years and write under the date for each one, the weather for each day. So we can see in like 1953, 54, and 55 and compare the weather and also the visitors that day. So I guess he's doing his own research there. And in the next slide, I just thought it was funny that in this one, 56, 57, 58, he keeps sending this poor lady out for water. She's sent out several times for water, like every day. It's like went to get the water. And so I started writing in my finger, actually, the dishes, and I hope research included that was one diligent girl thing. She was on top of it. We have Christian Wilhelm Herstedt, 1842. So he was not settled here at the time. But he describes the difficulties in Iceland with severe weather and anxiety for the upcoming spring. He wasn't sure if it was going to get better. Ólafur Guðmundsson Arkenes. This is all his friends' addresses, so it's good to have this book. If you're looking for anyone's old address. He also bought some shoes and sugar. The shoes were much cheaper than the sugar. The shoes were $1.50 and the sugar was $6. We have diaries from unknown soldiers in the wars. This one is from World War I. And he talks about arriving in Liverpool on June 7th. This is after the war, when he's coming back. And June 16th, he got back to Halifax and then to Toronto. And he talks about this soldier settlement board that he was going to apply for money from this veteran land grant program because he fought in the war. But if you know who this is, that would be great to get a name on that file, but there's nothing in the file. And we have a notebook that belonged to Gudrun Gudrunsson's family. It came in his archival collection, but this is not just his because it has notes from before he was born. It seems to be just like the whole family used this book. But we have what appears to be some of his schoolwork when he was learning about Canada. He drew us a little map. And there's some accounting notes on there because we don't waste paper. And then another one we have some just an unknown accountant from 1886 and all the lists of what everything was costing. Here's a different soldier, not the same one. Also, if you know who this is, love to put a name with this file. From 1916 and 1917, and in this one he talks about when he enlisted and landed in France. He was part of the field ambulance unit, and his first job, as fun as this must have been, was cleaning the stalls on the ship. He also writes a lot of poetry in there, talking about his feelings, dreaming that he was in Canada and magically $2 a year. I don't know what that was, but it was a good dream, I guess. So now we've looked at the history of our journals. Now, when I want to just take a moment and reflect and think about the value of those journals for us now, how much we enjoy them, and what are you going to leave for the next generations? Not many people are writing those journals anymore. We're all using social media. It's true. But there is some problems. It does not last, which is a problem. Like GeoCities, did anyone have a GeoCities website? I had a GeoCities website. Yeah, they shut down. The site was gone. Yeah, MySpace. Even the old Facebook, like when we write on each other's walls, that's gone. And we put so much information out there. And it disappears as the platforms change. And I wonder what's going to happen at the next, like at the 200-year anniversary or the 300-year anniversary. We've just posted it all on social media, and it's not going to be there then. Did you keep a blog maybe, like WordPress, Blogger? I have a blog. Like these get shut down too. They're only around as long as the company's making money. So it's definitely not. It's not forever. And we're not sending letters. We have emails. And how many times have you changed email accounts? Do you know your passwords? It's gone. They didn't keep those emails. And we've lost so much and so much of our story. And I really want people to think about that. Like as a librarian, I'm looking for your journals and I can't do much without them. Oh my goodness. And saving things to discs and CDs and flash drives. And they don't have the life you think they do. I get stuff sent in on a CD, and at the very best, it's got 20 years. And I find in the archive, often it's already way more than 20 years old. Document types, they don't last forever. Like dot, I can't remember the example right now, but there's a bunch of them, and they only last a few years, and then they're just gone, and we can't open them again. And like email attachments, how many times have you had something corrupted? There's something you could have really used, right? So how we save things is really important. Oh my goodness, those discs are the worst. So how is the next generation going to remember us as individuals? How are they going to know what was important to us? About our families, about if we didn't actually want to teach those kids anymore, or when we sold that cow, or if we ate way too much at the INL lunch and we're really regretting eating a whole plate of desserts after. They're not going to know, even though we posted it on social media. But there is some ways to save stuff. Print it out. I know it sounds crazy. We're killing trees, but you gotta have it on paper. Or if you send in articles to Lookbook PageStream, or Icelandic Connection, they fall under the Icelandic law for skills, which is like skills. You must archive them. So in Iceland, they take those things and they put them in vaults, the paper ones. And the digital ones for Tímarit, which I talked about, they have really, I worked in archives in Iceland, so they have really strict rules on this. Everything has to be burned onto golden discs, 3 discs from 2 different companies, to make sure that if something fails, there is a backup. And they have a system in place where they are like moved over, considered like a really comprehensive archival system. So if you have something and you want to be saved forever, send an article to these guys, put your pictures in there, and it'll be archived by Iceland forever. And you can easily look it up on Tímarit. And your great grandkids will have it all. It's great. Do we have some questions? Did I cut into the coffee time? Okay. Yes, sorry.
Our mother, Icelandic mother.
Yes.
Is that something that would go then?
Yeah, I mean, if it's too big for a newspaper, you can send it. They have like Icelandic Connection still, and it would absolutely go in there. Or if you're writing your own book, you have to send copies to Iceland. Mm-hmm. What work is Linda?
Can you tell us a little bit about the Icelandic connections you just called up?
Oh, yeah. So everybody, Icelandic Connection since 1942. I'm the editor now, and it's online at icecon.ca. I've been handing out stickers. If you need more, I have more upstairs, and I will see you again this weekend. And you're more than welcome to submit articles. It's open access to everyone online. So it's free, doesn't cost anything, but if you want a paper one, it's not free. But most people just want to use the online ones anyways, and all of the ones have been digitized now, and they're also on Tímarit, very searchable. And we have, kind of going back to what some other people have talked about earlier today, is we encourage a lot of students at the University of Manitoba too, and younger people who are just, into Norse mythology or want to start writing about their family. And we get them in here too. We have an article from Robert this year, and we have part comment from a really good student at the university, and we only pick the best. But I strongly encourage anyone to take part. It's super fun, and it'll be saved forever. So okay, next person. Yeah.
I really want to thank you for highlighting that it's really lost. I want to give you an example. Really painful to my mother. She was 18, or she was 18, so I heard. She was born to a French mother and a German father in England, educated all over Europe, Swedish woman, and ended up living in Portugal. And my brother said to me one day, I wonder what accent he had. And the sad thing was, nobody was
Yeah.
and so I was really, and that's just an agony to me. So I just encourage, get those lists, answer all those questions. Really. Thank you.
I think that's someone else. Okay.
Probably microphone, but I'm just going to say. We've got paid for like 27 years.
Oh, 70.
Yeah. They did get another guy.
Oh, good job. Yeah.
But I just wanted to actually kind of statement, for those people who might be interested in kind of like modern. 4 years ago, I came across a book called The Bullet Journal Method by an author by the name of White. And literally it changed my life. Here's these things, so if I die.
Good job.
Really helped me like organize my life and also breaks it, and it makes it all written. Bullet journal.
Do you write down the digits?
Sometimes I do actually see little things like that. Sometimes I do put it in there. I've got down. Slider there. Bullet journal.
Bullet journal. Can you repeat that? Oh, sorry, can you repeat the name of the journal? People are asking for it.
Sorry, it's called the bullet journal method by Ryder Carroll. RYDERCAR.
All right, we all got that? No. He's getting the microphone now because I can't spell it out like he did.
Okay, so now you're the perspective of your mic. So. Called Bullet Journal Method by a man named Ryder Carroll. And it basically kind of shows you how to organize it, also kind of introductory to how to keep a journal. I have been doing it, I've been for years, but this stuff. And now I have 4 years of these things, and yeah, it's not good dishes, but you can put that in there too. Whatever, it's easy to customize it for yourself. And it's written, and it's kind of cool just to go back every now and then and see what you did in a period.
All right. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh. Are you lying to me?
You books on family history. Oh,
Yes. Did you send them to Iceland?
yeah, so some of them, I think,
You should absolutely do that. Send them to lots of books.
Okay.
Mhm.
maybe talk.
I think we're good. Yeah. All right. Is it coffee time now?